NVIDIA just became a $4 trillion monster, and they're not slowing down. The real question is, how long can this dominance last before the laws of gravity pull the company back down to earth? Because let's be honest here, right? NVIDIA isn't just another tech company. It's the beating heart of AI. Every chatbot, every image generator, every large language model, from Google to OpenAI, they all run on NVIDIA's hardware. And that's why they can control over 90% of the GPU market, and their Blackwell chips are setting records for speed, scale, and demand. The crazy part? Even with that kind of dominance, investors, they're still piling in, pushing the stock within 2% of its all-time high. So I ask you, is this the start of another AI super cycle, or the point where growth becomes expectation and then that same expectation becomes risk? My name is Rick Orford. I've been trading since 1999, and no, I am not a financial advisor. That is a good thing. I'm here to break down the numbers so retail investors like you and me can make smarter, more informed decisions with our money. In this video, I'm going to cover what's fueling NVIDIA's current incredible run, what Wall Street might be missing, and why this story is far from over, but still could get a little bit bumpy. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. And you all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by almost 6 times. Go to fool.com/RickO to get your 10 stock picks right now. Okay, let's get into it. Founded in 1993, NVIDIA went from a simple 3D graphics startup to becoming the engine of accelerated computing and artificial intelligence. Today, NVIDIA now commands around 92% of the discrete GPU market, and its Blackwell chips have become the brain of models at Google, Meta, Amazon, and even OpenAI. If AI is today's new electricity, NVIDIA is selling the generators. Even the device you're using right now may be running on it. Now, on the lineup is a full-stack AI platform that surpasses the GeForce RTX graphics card line for gamers and creators, and encompasses GB300 Blackwell Ultra GPUs for AI factories and DGX Cloud for teams to train without having to build a data center. In English, NVIDIA is not just selling chips, they're renting out the future of compute. Omniverse, for example, lets companies build digital twins in OpenUSD, and Jetson with Isaac brings edge robotics to life. Companies like BMW have been working with NVIDIA to progress, right? With the car company using Omniverse to design and simulate whole plants without spending on the nuts and bolts just yet. And that's the beauty of vertical integration. More products, more data equals more profit. Now, let's take a look at the stock, right? Because that arc is pretty wild. Today, NVIDIA is trading at around $187, just 1.8% away from its all-time high of $191.05, and 116% above the 52-week low of $86.62. Meanwhile, the stock's been up 40% year-to-date and 53% over the last 52 weeks. Their 60-month beta is 2.12, so expect it to jump around twice as much as the market average. And that's not just volatility, that's momentum with a tight seatbelt. Now, on my Discord, we love a good story, right? And NVIDIA is more of a hero's journey style epic, because this is where things start to get a little interesting, right? It's Blackwell. Management, they've said the new chips have delivered about $11 billion back in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2025. That's the fastest ramp in company history. Customers are shifting spend from Hopper to the GB series for more compute. And NVIDIA plans yearly upgrades, including the GB300 Blackwell Ultra and Rubin in 2026. And that cadence shortens the time to performance for buyers. And that's what Wall Street loves as well, right? A predictable cycle of innovation. Just think like the iPhones every year, the 14, the 15, the 16, and now the 17. Blackwell data center revenue also rose 17% sequentially in the second quarter of fiscal 2026, which points to sustained demand and strong pricing. When prices hold and units fly, that's pricing power, and NVIDIA's got it in spades. Additionally, AI is consuming a massive amount of compute, right? New reasoning systems can now use around 100 times more compute per task than older approaches. Smarter results often come from bigger clusters, and more of those cycles now happen in the real world, not just training. And that extends the runway for high-end hardware and networking. So you could say that NVIDIA doesn't just win when AI is built, it wins every single time that it's used, right? Meanwhile, Europe's Jupyter supercomputer also runs on NVIDIA with, get this, 24,000 Grace Hopper superchips and Quantum 2 InfiniBand, unlocking exascale science for climate and medical work. These kinds of wins just prove one thing: the top of the market trusts NVIDIA completely. And let's not forget that GeForce Now streams RTX power from the cloud. AI blueprints with Microsoft Trellis speed up 3D creation by about 20%, and RTX Remix upgrades older games. Every new developer using their tools creates another layer of demand. NVIDIA's flywheel just keeps spinning, right? Lastly, they're also planting the seeds for the future of AI and the next generation of their own customers. For example, NVIDIA is funding K-12 AI programs and real-world projects like 3D humidity maps. Train the next wave on NVIDIA and then watch that demand compound for decades. But what's currently holding them back, right? Well, to answer that, we have to look at the risks, and I'm going to cover that in a future video, because when a company gets this big, even the small cracks can echo through the entire market, and you want to know before everyone else. So with all this out of the way, is NVIDIA stock a buy? Well, the analysts say yes. A consensus among analysts rate NVIDIA stock a strong buy, with their score staying high over the last 3 months. The way I see it, NVIDIA is a long-term play for investors and a momentum generator for traders. Data center GPUs and a world-class software stack can continue to drive demand, but the ride is going to be a bit bumpy, especially when prices are this high, right? So you could say that NVIDIA is both the king of the market and the target that everyone is aiming at. So with all this out of the way, are you going to buckle up, or are you sitting this one out? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, do hit those like and subscribe buttons, right? It'll help others find the video, it'll help the channel, and of course you won't miss out on any of my future deep dives. Well, folks, that's it for me today in this video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.